Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
If you need help in terms of the philosophy of how to do 100 words, because there's a limit. This matter of overall how you want to approach this problem. So you want to have 10 keywords.
So let's go back, guys. So don't we maximize the use of our time here, okay? So let's just talk about we in the beginning someone asked for strategies. So let's just talk about strategies to market my offer. So right now we said how many venue for the offer? 5.
Right.
That's right. Phone was one of them. Posting another one. So what is the strategist has to adapt the venue of the 5. So number 1, on the printed material. So the printed paper. What's the strategy here? Very simple. I will go to meetings, meet people, and when I meet somebody, I will give them the brochure and my business card, or I will drop or I will drop the brochure or the package, then I will follow up with a phone call. Okay? Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just hash because there's a couple of them which we want to talk about a little bit longer. So let's just hash the phone. So if I want to do a phone call, what is the strategy? Oh, he's not here. Rob is not here to share his strategy. What's the strategy on a phone call? If I want to initiate a phone call, despite all what you talk about it here.
Well, there's a timing strategy and then there's a script.
Yes, but what could be on a phone call? What be the call to action on a phone call?
Oh, can I send you more information?
Okay. So if you initiate with a phone call, you may what you want to do is to send more info.
Yeah.
So what Rob was doing is he has a phone call. He made the phone call and say, we are doing this. Would you mind to email you some information? And he got, I believe, 5 requests for quotation from about 40, 50, somewhere in 100. When he comes back.
After 100 calls?
No. Out of the 100, he got like 5 requests for
He
quotes.
made 100 calls.
When he comes back.
That was the residential part when we first started. But what we basically found out is in the home elevator industry, it's the people who need it, can't afford it. So they want the cheapest option from China.
Whatever you're finding, is the point is the conversion. Yeah. Whatever from the finding, the conversion rate is important. That this was like 5 to 100, so it's really high. Because the return of steps are 50 to 1 on phone calls, and in some areas are 250 to 1. So if you made a phone call and 50 phone calls, and you get 4 or 5 requests, that's basically awesome. Because the statistics showed from every 50 phone call you have 1. Statistics in other regions around the world, from every 250 calls you have 1. So if you made 10, 12, 20 phone calls and you got 1 request, that's great.
That's great. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, we are basically making it intelligent. Okay.
That's depending on where you focus. If you focus on targeted audience, then the conversion rate is much higher than.
Yeah.
This means you are intelligent, but these are not target audience, because this for you are general. This is a cold calling, right? But you have.
But you can already make decisions which type of phone calls to make.
Yes.
Right? And this way you target your audience already a little bit.
And you won't have their phone numbers unless you've got some targeting strategy before that.
Yes, which means you did a very good damn job. Your job done.
If you get a phone number, you really do it well.
Now, what is the other alternative for phone calls? I can invite them to a free session. So I can make a phone call and say, hi, I'm inviting you to the session of blah, 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 blah. And can you give me information where to sign, where to get the session?
Jackie is using robocalls now. I received a robocall from her.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Who's Jackie?
McClanagan, Pure Potentials.
I didn't receive one.
You didn't? You must have
It's not that I didn't receive one. I have a blocker on all of the. I have blocking. I'm blocking every other phone call, phone number. I don't know.
So the robocalls, I think, is worse than spamming somebody.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
offensive.
It is quite offensive. Like I got that and I said, really, you know, I don't know.
Robocall has
I deleted it.
it has its own views. Like if you have somebody make a follow up with a robocall, you in the market understand that this is a big company because they invest that much money in a robocall
Yeah,
because the service is expensive.
yeah, and
So Gary Robert is doing it, and few other people are doing it.
As soon as I hear a robotic voice, I just.
No, they have their own.
it's not a robotic voice; it's their own voice. But it's
Oh,
but you know that they're not
Yeah.
even waiting for you to say hello. They just boom launch into their
Yeah.
script.
So it's just a message. Okay. Number 3. So this is our two good strategy to go on phone calls. You may want to call them and ask them to invite them to a free session. Okay. The only one who make a phone call and ask you to buy are the people who are looking for donation. I'm not sure if anybody else will look for phone call
Campaign,
or campaign. Yeah.
like election campaigns.
One of the other strategies we talk about it was posting. So what's the strategy of posting?
These are physical posters.
Yeah, remember we had 5 strategies at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
We said a website, we said
So you have to have the actual components that you mentioned earlier.
yeah, so we talked about here.
No, posting was part of the printed paper.
Here. We talk about 5 things, that's right?
Yeah,
We talked about 5 things.
but the number one thing was printed paper, which was posting.
No, posting is at the very bottom.
Posting is at the very bottom. So these are 5 things.
Go to the.
So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm doing here. I'm doing 1, 3, and the 5, and then I will do the other 2. So what's the strategy around posting?
Well, go where your tribe hangs out, your target market hangs out. Like for me, it would be.
I'm not sure why some people are looking at me as crazy. You know, what's the strategy about posting? Very simple. Where's your targets? So if your target will go hang around coffee shop, what you will do? You can have list of coffee shops, and you go do posted. You posted, and then you go visit to make sure nobody's taking away the posting. Okay.
Wiles said you made like 100 calls.
Yeah, when you get the initial calls for the information, you get the codes. How many phone calls you made and how many codes request you?
300 calls, roughly.
Yeah.
It's actually less than that, closer to 2. And I got, we've sent out 5 quotes.
Okay, so
To your family members, I bet.
Yes. They were cold calls.
So
To me.
he's still better than 1 to 250 per
But they were also, they would have been in that audience as opposed to complete general, because they were home builders, so they were all.
No, audience once they got information from you and they want to listen to more from you. So when they don't know anything about you, they still generate. Okay. Anyway, away from that, the statistics, we have some kind of statistics here. Okay. So if you made 30 phone calls and nobody's interested, you're still ready to go to the 50. And when we say 1 every 50, this was made out of 3, 4, 5, 10,000 phone calls. It's not 50. So you can keep going. So don't feel depressed if you made 50 phone calls and nobody's interested. Keep going. Okay. When you talk about posting, you must have a strategy for posting. Where will you post it? So you have to list of locations. You go post it there, and you should go and visit there. So there is a higher ground. There are Phil and what?
Sebastian.
Phil and Sebastian
And
and Starbucks. Safeway, Co-op. There are so many of these locations where if your offer is rational to a business and a consumer, you can go there and post, make a posting there. Okay. If you are in the business world, there are also these entrepreneurship centers and these SMEs support. You can also go and post it there. Don't disqualify posting as one of the most, like I had in one of my activities we have been doing all through only posting. We never really had anything else.
What about those car flyers? You know, you put them in the windshield of just behind the wiper. You can't do that.
It's illegal.
It's illegal to do that?
You get fined. Yeah.
Only if they come after you.
Yeah, well,
That's the thing.
you're putting your calling card
calling
everywhere.
card. That's your
That's your-
It wasn't me. It was my competitor who was trying to get back at me.
And what also is illegal.
They're not gonna actually.
You know what
physically
what
do.
also is illegal. You know these guys when you have this
On the highway.
sign on the road signs.
City post.
You have these road signs,
Oh yeah.
and you'll find people are sticking or putting stuff to it.
Lost
Yeah,
cat
we
and
buy
things like
houses.
that.
Garage sales, and some of them they fix the stuff, and these are illegal.
Yeah, they're illegal.
They work though.
They work, but they're illegal.
Yeah, but they're not going to go after people like that.
You know, like all these garage sales things.
As long as you don't leave them up for more than 2 or 3 hours and you don't put it on a city post.
Yeah.
That's the
What about vehicle signage?
Oh, you allowed that.
That's pretty
like
good,
the
eh?
back of your vehicle.
I've actually seen people with trucks,
website
they're
and your
abandoned
phone
trucks,
number.
right outside Chinook Mall or something.
And
They
have
just park it
advertising
there.
on the-
Yeah, it's all over. Like
Yeah.
it's like a great billboard.
Car signages will work because when people wants to sell cars, they have car for sale and they put it at Co-op and different places,
Mhm.
which is high traffic. Superstore near to your house as well.
There's one there. I saw a car there.
Yeah,
Like that.
by the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you understand how people import the car from the US and they want to sell them, they go to these local areas. Co-op, which is on
Park all these cars all over the place.
Country Hills, which is Shaganabi. This is a spot there. The one which is Country Hills, which where the Superstore on the other side. And they put the car, and within 6 to 8 weeks, the car will get sold, which means
Or
it's
towed.
effective.
Or
No, they only do it in the morning and they put the car back at night.
I think it only works if your car is to the status that you want your product to be associated
Yeah.
with. So for me,
But-
I would never put a sign on my car. So
There are people who are putting signs on their car with a very small, on the back with a very small phone number, and I'm not sure who's driving behind them. They will. Anyway,
So
consider
I had an
posting.
interest-
Consider posting as to yes, sir.
I had an interesting experience where we had a business in the Northeast, so we live in the Southwest, and so we put a lawn sign for our business on our lawn.
Oh yeah, you were not allowed to do
And
that.
somebody complained, and
Yeah,
the
you're not
city
allowed to
called
do
me
that.
and said, "You got to remove that." I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
You are not allowed to do that.
Because your lawn not necessarily is yours. Your lawn may have right of the way for the city, and you are not allowed to
It
put
may not
stuff
be
on
that.
that.
It may just be that you're advertising business,
Commercial
commercial
business.
thing.
It's a commercial.
You are not allowed to advertise commercial.
Yeah, you know, my
residential.
good friend here, she has a shawarma place. She got so many tickets from the city bylaw. The guy of the bylaw was just having her in her mind, because her signages were like 6 inches or 4 inches inside where somewhere or something very ridiculous.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, posting, the way to do posting correctly, guys, is you go to the location owner or the location manager and ask, would you mind if I post this one here? Some of the location will request this to be a free event, and sometimes you ask for signature on the back. It's like everything in life; it can be there and somebody can take it away. We used to run renting business, complete renting business for 5 years. And all what we're doing, when we have an available location, we go to the university, specific 7 location, we just post signage over there, people will give us phone call. That's it. We didn't do anything online, we didn't call, nobody knows. Actually, nobody from our close community will know that we have this business. The minute we have an available place for rent, we put the sign, we cut the little, you know how you cut the small phone numbers, and we put it there. There are 7 spots in engineering department and science department at Universal Cup. We put them there. Eventually, the students will call. The place will be rented. And some of them came from SAIT and some other places, and that's, we never advertise in SAIT. They said, oh yeah, we just go to this billboard because we know this is where people post. So I got with my partner at the time. This was like 15 years ago. I said, you know what? We got it now. We do extra advertising in SAIT and Montreal, and because people can travel on the traffic. All of our properties were on the train. We put the signage there, and everybody will come asking, so where you got this from? From the same billboard at University of Calgary. Even when I got people from SAIT, they did not see it at SAIT. They saw it in. So it was a very interesting. Like, you just have these 7 locations. If you know them, you put them. That's it. And then one time around the election of the Senate, there was the billboard was full, and there was some old advertisement. So I took 3 or 4 of them, and I put mine. And then I had this security came after us, because they saw that we are taking away some of the other candidate from the school GSA, whatever they have there, or whatever. And so I said, no, just here is that. And so I went back to the garbage can and said, okay, this is the one I took. The dates are very old and these are obsolete. These events like 2-3 weeks ago, no value, and I need the spot. So the guy let us go. But so don't discount posting. The other aspect of posting is to create awareness that you exist, especially if you tap into new community. So if you have a customer and you wanna, or a client, and you wanna offer them a change management workshop, you should also ask if you can put an advertising on the employee board in the lunchroom. Maybe they'll be interested for some questions and they can answer the question for free. Because once you have a posting there, it means you are real. So don't discount posting. I know we are in the online media now, but don't discount posting. When we do any of our workshops, we must have first a printed version. Despite the fact is sometimes we don't even print it. And sometimes we print it and we don't distribute them because we fill events through different ways. But posting is still very important. The second...
so where do banners fall under, number 1 or number 3? Number 3.
I would say number 3 if you want to do it in number 1.
You know, those pop-up banners. If you
Yeah. I would say banner will go under number 3 because you post it somewhere. Rob Business, for example, this is more important than this because in Rob Business he has the flyers, he has the specifications, he has the stuff. So handing out a brochure with a specification is more relevant. That's right. So it's based on whatever business. Now we want to talk about emails and we want to talk about online. So what are the strategies? Which one you want to start first? Emails or online?
Email.
You want to, so on emails, what's one of the strategies? One of the strategies is if you have the email, you can send the email and then ask for what? A phone call, or ask them to visit a website. That's right. This is one strategy.
Yeah, so you said an event.
Or you set an event. The other strategy is I don't have the email list. So what should I do? I need to collect the emails first. I don't have the email address, so I need to collect the email first. How we collect the emails?
Lead magnets.
Lead magnet is one of the strategies. What is the other ways to collect emails?
Again, going to meetings.
Going to meetings. Great. Going to meetings. Sign up sheet. What other ways to collect emails?
We can phone and
Yeah, beautiful. You read my mind. I can phone. So when I phone, what was here? The strategy on phoning. I phone and I will ask for, if I want to email info, so I ask them for the email. That's right. What I want to say is, don't get oversold or confused by why people sell you over there, because you must have a clarity which one of those I want to use. I know Mike will ask me, so which one should I do it? I say, nobody can tell you which one is the most effective. You pick up one or two and apply them. And when they work, if they don't work, we have to change them. Because not everybody are in the same business, and not everybody experience will convert the same experience as yours. What other, how we can also collect emails?
Can you export your LinkedIn contacts into?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm really confused by the castle laws now about what.
It doesn't matter. We can talk about the details, but here we are in the strategies level. Now I have emails. I have an email strategy. I can send emails. If I have them, ask them to visit. The other one is I want to collect emails. Yeah. Using lead magnet, which we'll talk about it later, going to events, sign up sheets. I can make phone calls, ask them what their emails. What are other strategies where I can collect emails of people?
You can go through the different websites.
Sorry?
Free gift and an event.
Yeah, free gift is part of the lead magnet. What other ways to collect emails?
You can go to their websites and get their email.
You can go to their website. So you can go to their website and get their emails. And there is a requirement, we have to explain it. What is the other ways to collect their emails as well? What these people are doing for their own business?
They're mailing out, so
they are posting, and they are posting. So if you go to specific locations like this coffee shop in by the end of 9th Street South, 9th Avenue South in Inglewood. The name of the big, what's the name of it? It's a coffee shop and the food. Yeah. It's a big market on the left.
Oh yeah, I know.
What's the name of it?
It's on the north side of the.
A couple times.
Or was
yeah.
it,
the place which everybody knows but nobody remembers the name.
Community Foods?
Yeah. It's true.
It's not Community Foods, it's something different. Anyway, this market, if you walk in there, what you will see on the big entrance wall, you will see like hundreds of business cards. From the MLA business card to every other business over there.
Because they used to have a lot of events there with sustainability and energy from all different industries.
Yeah, this is the one beside the Starbucks. Starbucks is on the corner.
So it's on 9th Avenue
and 6 or 8 Street Southeast, after the bridge.
Rosso. No. Gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah. somebody's paying for search engine optimization. Huh?
Yeah. Because if you are in the retail store and if you are in the restaurants, people are looking for specific words on. So SEO is important for restaurants. I'm working with like 30 some restaurants right now, and we do lots of discussions about that. So, but your business as a coaching is not online. People don't come search for it. Some other places, by the way, for posting, if it's relevant, will be hotels. Yeah. If you are doing service relevant to people coming to town, you can go to the hotel and you ask them to give your business card, or you post your what you do there, so people will come. So if you have a limo service, if you have a restaurant, if you have stuff like pizza places, they go around. How many have been in a hotel before and they have this flyer coming underneath the door? And when you look under the doors, there is no spot. I don't know how they sneak them in. So where can I get emails address? I can actually visit the posting areas where I am posting my thing, and if I see relevant small business advertising or somebody who can take advantage of my business, I can get their emails and phone numbers. Does it make sense? Yes, sir.
I thought of another one. Is if that business tries to advertise events for themselves and they ask you to get on their email list, once you're on their email list, now you have their email address as well.
Yeah, you can. However, emails sending emails with a commercial request from a full profit organization or with marketing material end up with sales is protected in Canada, is protected in the US, and protected in Europe. Europe is the worst one. We are in Canada, not the worst one. If you are a Canadian business selling in the US, you are not under the American laws, you are not under the Canadian laws. That's why the majority of the successful guys will have this offshore setting, somebody from the Bahamas, because they will just basically, you cannot apply the laws for them. Castle is one of the biggest one in Canada. There are so many phases, and the last 2 phases have been installed. They installed them, they could not apply them because they don't make sense. There are maybe a few cases. The largest was $1 million, and the smallest was like $25,000. But none of them paid because they implement specifics, and they show that there is specifics. So I do have material on Castle in particular, and I can bring an expert like a lawyer or somebody. There's 3 people I know who can talk in details, specifics about Castles if you guys like. So you need to consult, because there are ways around it too. I can send you an email asking you for permission to send you an email.
As long as, no, I don't think that's a
There are so many.
Is there a way to do that? Cause
there are many, but the only things I know is if you sit and type the email, you are not under Castle.
Yeah, as soon as you give option, you opt in.
Not opt-in. If you basically sit and just type an email, it's not an emailing list, it's not an automated list, it's not under Castle. Also, Castle create a different issue. Castle create intelligent ignorant who wants to challenge you. So I was in an event the other day, and I talked to the girl, and I got her business card. So I scanned them and I put them through my Infusion software right away with a special tag. So she got an email. So she sent me a lesson on Castle. She said, "Yeah, you are not qualified, Castle, and this is not professional." So I sent her an email back. I said, "You know what? I am a not-for-profit organization. Castle is not even applicable to me."
No, but if she gives you a business card, your email should reflect.
For me, it's not relevant because
no,
because we are a not-for-profit organization anyway.
Yeah, but
so
even if they gave me a business card, I send them a thank you and all that stuff. As long as I don't, it's an implied consent. I've got till whatever 6 months to convert.
So my messages to these people, it does not include any sales. My message is just basically, it was nice meeting you. If you need more information, here is my podcast. That's it. I don't sell.
That is marketing.
I don't sell. My podcast does not create money. It does not produce money because the podcasts are free.
It's commercial electronic material.
It's free. Podcasts are free.
Does it drive sales somewhere else? Doesn't.
No, because there is no links. You basically download the podcast. They are completely free.
And in the content of the podcast, there's no promotion.
Nothing.
So you're not building a brand.
I'm building an awareness. I'm building an awareness.
You talk to your lawyer. See what he says.
Yeah, I talk to my lawyers. I talk to my lawyers. You know, like the worst thing for anybody is to try to sue us because we are so aggressive.
Non-profit, it doesn't matter anyway. So.
Anyway, the thing is, these emails. We talked a little bit about the strategy of these emails, and we will talk about how to do lead magnet, sign-up sheet, and stuff like that. Okay, so this will come in the discussion before we go conclude today. So what is the 5th strategy?
Online.
Yeah, website and online.
Or those guys twirling those arrows in the streets.
There you go. Hire those guys.
Ones, yeah.
They make me want to eat.
That falls under posting.
This is like human postings.
Yeah. So coming to website. So what is the why do we need to have a website?
It's your online business.
It's exactly like you have an office. You need to have an online presence. It doesn't matter. You don't have the $500 to build your website, and doesn't matter you have the $5,000 to build your website, because a decent website will cost between $50,000 to a couple of $100,000 to build. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have 500 or 50, it doesn't work. If you have a decent website and you want somebody to do it fully for you, it will be in the $50,000 range. Okay, the 3, 4, 5 pages are just your local presence, great, just to have it. But if you want to have automations and all the stuff, it costs serious money. So website is a key because people need to find you on a website. What else is important along the website? You must have some sort of social media pages about your business. Why do you need to have a social media pages? No, on the online space, because remember number 5 was online. So website is one. What the website should include? All of these are different discussions. Should it include a blog or not a blog? This is a different level of discussions. Don't confuse yourself with details for now. But what do you need for your business? You need at least one website, and you need to be at least on pages where you need to have likes, because you need what you call it social proof.
Social proof?
Yeah, because when people like your business, you need to have some social proof. And then later on we can talk about how we can use this for marketing. Because it's a all closed circle. It's not activity which you do for no reason. Because when you have people who likes your page, you can use these likes to run an advertisement on the friends of the people who like your page, because most likely they will have the same pain as people like your page. So when you come to somebody who has people overseas liking his page for social proof, not in his target market, he cannot do that. So there are so many uses for this. But the point I want to say is you need to have an online presence, and these are the 2 least online presence. What about social media groups? You can also have what we call it social media groups.
Well, I keep getting things on Alignable. I don't even know really what Alignable is.
Alignable is an alternative. I will share with you a very interesting story about them. Alignable is something like LinkedIn and social media and Facebook,
Online business network.
but for a small business networking. And it allows you to do few things, 2 or 3 things, asking questions and stuff like that. But I don't know who did business through it. Like, I'm not aware of anybody did business through it. The story I want to say is, I went there and I published one of my workshops. Then I got people like it and interactions around it. And then out of the blue, I got somebody from Alignable headquarters, which is, I'm not sure who is, and he sent me a very interesting spammer finger points. So I said, you know what? My understanding to your rules that this is allowed. So before you talk to me about that, just tell me what's wrong, and I will take it away. I have no problem. You know, like if you, like, define what do you mean a spammer. Like, how many of you here have been calling people a spammer and have been called spammers? Many of us. What do you mean a spammer? What does it mean a spammer?
Would you think somebody would have complained? Is that why that happened?
Actually, the lady apologized because she found out on this particular post there are more than 25 interaction where it actually driving people interest, and there are so many interactions. So we apologize. This was a legitimate post.
So she saw some activity there. She thought
she saw the post somehow, and they said this is a spamming advertisement, and this is a spammer. And then in like a couple of hours, I had so many people interacting to the questions, and then she came back and apologized.
I don't understand why would be spamming any advertisement. Why would be spamming? Because
the question I have is when you have a group of small business services, and we will come and say it's a bookkeeping over accounting, why is they will call it spammer? Why they will call it spam?
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
However, you will find there are lots of interested people. Like there's a business coach somewhere where it blocked me because it said I'm spamming this particular groups, and when I identified her, we forced her to block her account because I basically went to everybody I know. I said, you know what? I was so surprised that this post. Does this post look a spammer to you? They said no. I said, so why this girl keeps spamming us? And I got this jails by Facebook. So everybody went after her, just being everything. Any time she will post something, People will go and say this is spam, report them as spam.
Wow.
Facebook will block her automatically. So what is a spam? A spam is defined as what? Something you are not interested to see. You did not sign up to see it.
That's why
So-
you did not give consent.
So when you sign up for buy and sell groups online, and somebody is selling tickets for an event, is this a spamming or not?
No, it's not.
So this is where the spamming perception should not hunt you down, because if you are definite what you are doing is not spamming. So what I do is I go to the moderator of the groups now and say, okay, would you mind if you want to share this particular information? In particular, some of the services we work with, we found out the owner of the groups are in a competing business.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so you have done it. So on online we have website and we have pages. So the question is how to build the traffic. That's right, because if I want to get visitors to my website, it will be called what? Traffic. How you get visitors to your flyer? You go and they give it to people to see the flyer. How you get visitors to your flyer? You post them on the wall. That's right. Make sense? You have a website, you have a page. How you get visitors to, how to get people to see this flyer and these pages?
You need 250 backlinks to other related businesses.
You need to have traffic. You need to understand how you invite people to watch or to access these websites. So how to what are the strategies of building this traffic? You can share via emails, and you can share via posts, paper posts. You say, here is my business card, which is like a posting material, that's right. On the back of the business card I have what? I have an access to my call to action to come to my website. Do you need a QR code or not is different question. Don't get into details. Just to understand the big vision, and then we can look at executions and what's effective, what's optimization, and what kind of word you use. This is a completely different story. So if I want to build traffic, I want to share. How I share a website? I can go by emails. I can invite people by emails, which will make sense. Click here to see my new website. I can also share it as a social media posts. I can send Twitter accounts. I can send tweets. I can go to different Facebook and say, here is my new web page, or here is my new page. I can invite people to like them. Make sense?
There's somebody who told me that when you actually put a website on Facebook, so you write a post that people get intrigued and they click on the website that gets you to that funnel. Facebook kind of says you are leaving the site, and it scares the crap out of them. Say more.
That's why you need to go
You want to
through
point them to the page.
this page, because in the page there are a location where it says the website. So when they click on this website, they will not come up with this thing. So all of this optimization and what happened at different level of discussion. The question is how I can get people to see my website, and how I can set them to get to see my pages. Now, what is the other ways other than sharing? I can get them through activities. One of the activities is SEO. So when they do some activities like searching specific words or searching specific things, I can optimize my website that the activity will have my website as answer to it. Okay? So when I add search engine optimization, means I add extra information, extra tags, extra metadata
On your post.
on every single blog
Paste.
and pages. So nobody will have 2 blogs to their website and they talk about SEO. Nobody will have 3 pages on their website and they talk about SEO. When we reach these SEOs, we talk about few hundreds of blogs. with very specific, very focused words, you will be able to reach that. So blogging would be one of the activity required. You don't need to blog yourself. You can automate it. You can do so many things. What other activities you can do? When they have questions on forum. So if you visit forums, which is online forums, you can post the solution on your website as a blog and go there and share. To read more, visit my website, this particular address. And this is, we call it, you create traffic with activities. When people searching, when people having forums, when people also share information on, just sharing information on social media. Like people are interested to just browse what's going on Facebook. You can basically say, visit that and do that. Now, there are automated tools for that. One of them is called what? HotSuite.
What's it called?
HotSuite.
HotSuite.
HotSuite, yeah.
Hootsuite.
Hoot is H-O-O-T.
Hoot like an owl.
Yeah, HotSuite. Away from HotSuite and away from that, there's also WordPress organic plugins you can use. There are Tweetend and there are so many tools. You can use Twitters. You can actually connect the Twitters to your Facebook and do this stuff. Away from these details, this is what we are looking for. You can share, you can share it on different places, and you can hunt with people with activities.
Do you have any solutions for where Facebook, specifically Facebook, blocks or reduces your organic reach if you use tools like Hootsuite or Buffer?
And that's why I never use HotSuite. I never use Buffer.
Yeah.
And IFFT, you remember what happened when it has this? It has.
Do while Pope is Catholic loop, right? So
somebody was actually. This is the very first minute I got somebody to help me. Okay. I passed all the right time. I passed all my notes, and they were doing things, and that suddenly. It was interesting. Anyway, but it increases my ranks on Google, by the way. Like what happened? Oh yeah, there's few things I was checking out on Google, and it increased my ranks there. You know, so there are tools when you do these activities.
How about directories?
What do you mean directories?
Online directories like Yelp, Google Business.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Alignable is more or less one too, but.
Yelp.
But this comes under shares, right? Because we said we share, like you are sharing this with different platforms. So we can add here different platforms. Okay? Is there any other way to build traffic?
If you write an article, you can post it onto LinkedIn and also post it as a blog.
Which is here.
Yeah, like electronically.
Okay. Yeah. What are the other ways to create traffic? You can use tools to monitor activities. Sorry, basically you can do advertising. You can advertise, which basically it's a tool to monitor activities. And once these activities will happen, you will show the advertisement. So people will click on it. So you can share, you can trap them when they do some searches, and you can do paid advertisement. Okay? Where you pay advertisement? On Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, there are also third-party advertiser where they have this different. There are about 300 advertisement agency actually, where you can get this when you go to different websites. You get your ads there and stuff like that. Okay. Or also you can do advertisement right now on Messenger, and you can do advertising on WhatsApp, and you can do advertising on so many things. So you can have paid advertisement. Who's here believe his business will be in a paid advertisement domain?
would be in a what?
Paid advertisement domain. So if you see this is relevant to you, we can talk about this more details. The question is, should I do share or should I do SEO and the forum information, or should I do paid advertising? Which one should I do?
All three.
All three. And if I don't have time to do all of this, I should select one or two each. So please go to your notes and just put for yourself an action and say, away from the paid advertisement, because not everybody will be ready to do it. Write down an action on each, like pick up 3 actions that you will do it between today and Monday, which is relevant to this sharing. How many here doesn't have a website yet? So just the actions to build a website, okay? But if you have a website, can you put an action? How many does not have a Facebook page for their business? So your action will be building a website, building an online presence. People who have online presence, just write an action. I will put, if you have the journaling, this is one of the 5 minutes action, 10 minutes things is you will share what, or what are you doing in this area. Just 3 actions.
I have 5.
Great, can you share them?
No, they're all secret.
Okay. Can anybody share his actions with the group? Yes, sir, go ahead.
I'll post to forums on LinkedIn.
So you post a forum on LinkedIn.
That's one.
What's the second one?
Well, submitting blogs to magazines, to publishers. So there's some magazines you can submit as an article writer, which I used to do like 10 years ago, but I haven't done my work for exposure.
We have 2. One is to create an email to businesses in Vancouver to say that we're going to be at Buildex to come by and see us. So we've started to create an email list, and so now we need to create the email to start sending that. And the other one is we have an event on the 17th that Joel is attending, and so we're thinking about making a little tabletops that say "See you on the 17th."
Great.
And putting it at that location.
Especially the location and age demographic, that would be.
Yeah. Subliminal messages to come and see us.
So please take these actions and do them. Anybody wants to share actions as well?
Okay, I want to create a landing page for the chakras, and I want to put my video online on the website and maybe on Facebook, and I have to start posting on LinkedIn.
So one extra one that I've thought of is, we talked about, is create a brochure.
Great. Great. Anybody else wants to share, or let's just move to the next point?
So should I have a brochure for both one for Psyche and one for the chakras?
You have to have a brochure with one message for one product, with one price, for one body at one time. Because people are ignorant. So if you sell 2 things, how many brochures do you have? How many minimum brochures you need? 2. If you sell 20 things, what is the minimum number of brochures? 20. Okay? It's just you have to be clear. If you want to maximize your message, you have to be simple. One thing, one time, for one price, for one offer, with right benefits, right features. It should have a higher conversion rate. The one, yes sir.
You said one price. For me, I want to have a sliding scale. So it's more, if I'm training more people at the same time, then I can offer them a
having multi-tier of pricing for the same offer is okay. But you have one price. So if I come and say it's 2 for 1, it's okay. It's like $10, but 2 for 1 as a promotion. It's okay. It's still $10. If I want to say the total cost is $500, if 55 will come at $100 each, if it's 100 will come to be $5 each, is okay. But you just need to have one price strategy. Like I know someone will say, I would like to see $5,000 a day. And I can make it. Don't write down $5,000 a day, but you have an initial offer, so you need to have one price. You can have VIP, general seating, multi-pricing, but still one price. Multi-tiers in the pricing is okay, but it's one price. But I'm not saying I'm selling this watch here for $1, and I'm selling it here for so long, for so much, for $10. I'm not selling it. And here we'll bring a story. I want to like to share. Do you like to hear a story to tell you the value of what you are offering? So one guy went to his dad and told him, I want to learn the top lesson of life. So what's life about? So his dad told him, yeah, I will send you out to learn it. So I will send you out to the market. You take these particular stones with you, and if you want to, people will tell you the lesson, the most valuable things you know in life. And under one condition, did you know the story?
Mm-hmm.
When you go with the stones, sorry?
I've heard it.
Yeah, when you go with the stones, you don't talk. You just make a sign. So the kid he appreciated his dad. So he took the stone, he went to the market, people look at the stone, he stand by the market, so people believe he was selling the stone. So they came to him and said, how much is your stone? So he started to make a sign. So when he made the sign, people paid him $2. So he went back to his dad, so happy. He sold one stone they had in the house, is a priceless, has no price, no value, for $2. And he said, Dad, I got $2. He said, that's great. He said, so he asked that, so what is the biggest lesson in life? I didn't get it. He said, okay, you know what? I want to take you to the next stone, which is exactly the same as the first stone, and I want you to go to the museum. So he went to the museum. Somebody bringing a stone to the museum, so the museum, people in the museum like the stone and they want to buy it. So they asked the kid, how much is this you are selling for? He looked at them and remember, his dad said what? You just make a sign. You don't talk. So he made a sign. So the guys gave him $20 for the stone. Or $200, whatever number is, okay? And then he went back to his dad, so happy with the $200, and he said, wow, I sold 2 stones, one for $2 and one for $200. So what is the lesson in life? He said, you didn't learn it. I said, no. I said, okay, take the third stone, which is exactly like, and go to the jewelry place and show them the stone. But remember the condition, you don't talk. So he went to the jewelry place. They asked to buy the stone. He put the sign. And guess what happened? $2,000. The kid got shocked. He took the $2,000. He went to his dad and asked him, so what is the lesson of life? What's the lesson we learn from this story? The perceived value is how people look at you and value your offer. So you don't sell yourself short, because you can sell your stone for $2 in the wrong market. So if you are in this kid's shoes, where you should go and sell? You should go and sell only in the jewelry place. And this is always a message we will carry now and say, if you have an offer, this offer will be for somebody $2 and for somebody else $2,000. Where you should go position your offer? In the $2,000. So this is the lesson, that you don't value what you have, other people will give you the proper value. Stick only to the values. Is this the same story you heard?
It is. The further lesson I would get from it is that getting those $2,000 then allows you to donate your things to the people who can't really afford it, to the $2 people as well.
Yeah, it's
So
basically how.
it gives you that freedom.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, so let's in the last 15 minutes or so, let's talk about something we talk about, which is called the lead magnet. Okay. So remember, do you have any questions for whatever we had before? Is it clear? Is it useful? Okay. So what's the story of the lead magnet? So can somebody help me here? So what is the principle of lead magnet?
Give something away for free to
what?
Gain interest in
well, to to actually qualify your the market?
So if I have general people coming across on the platform, like I'm standing in the subway station, and everybody coming through the subway platform, they don't know me, that's right? So what's the people, I'm not here a missionary to try to convert you guys to anything, but you know the guys who talk about Jesus, that's right? We always see them over there. Do they talk to anybody? So what they do? They don't even hand brochures. They don't give anything. They don't give. They just the 3-4 of them will stand. They have all the magazines, and any audience will come to look at the magazine. They will start have discussions. That's right. So, and when they have discussions, they will become audience or target audience. So, if I want to qualify somebody from general doesn't know me, to qualify that he's interested here, I can use a lead magnet. Does this make sense?
Your hook.
It's not a hook, it's a lead magnet. Converting this potentially to a lead, who I can do him as a prospect, talk to him, and get him to test out my products, then pay me some money to become a customer, to buy when they buy a service. It doesn't need to be that specific details. It can be, you can merge a couple of these stages. But this is the concept. So, for example, what kind of lead magnet or you can offer?
Ebook, white paper.
Ebook,
Report.
white paper, report, infograph, tips. So who would be interested into the 10 tips to enjoy your lifestyle after retirement?
Probably not Joel.
That's right. So if I want to have an advertisement, or I want to have a post, or I want to have a downloadable thing which says the top 10 things to consider at retirement, it most likely will be somebody looking to enjoy retirement. Okay? Will an employer in a company interested in the top 10 tips to save business owners taxes? An employer in a company will not. Will a housewife interested in that? Will a single lady interested in the top 10 tips to save on your wedding preparation? Will a single lady interested in that?
Yeah.
Should be.
It should be.
Yeah, my daughter didn't care. She just went for the guys.
It should be, okay?
You should have.
Yeah. So will a married person interested in this particular topic?
Yeah, could be, depends.
Well,
For his daughter, or his
You see? Or for his second wedding, man. What's wrong
or
with
he's
you?
planning a second wedding.
What's wrong with you? And for the 25th anniversary wedding. Because there are people actually will go after 25 years
They get remarried again.
and they will have the same wedding ceremony and they will wear the same gown and same which don't ask me how. 25 years they didn't grow.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Those are the
25.
people that
Where
are
are
not
they?
looking to save money because they've got tons of money to get a second wedding.
Yeah, I went to one of these weddings. I went to one of these post weddings, and they actually had the original tuxedos, and I was like, I had an issue with that one, like, because they never gain weight, you know, they didn't change. Like, so the point I want to make from these jokes and this laugh is, you should be able to write down 1 to 3 titles, which is a report being interested for your general people to download. Once they download this report, what will happen? You know now they are interested in your information. Okay? What are the requirements to run a lead magnet strategy? You need to have what we call it landing page. What is a landing page? What is a landing page?
There's only one call to action.
A landing page is defined classically by Microsoft in 1998. It's one page which has only one thing to do, which basically put your email and sign up or submit this information. It can have a name, it can have an email, It can have a name and the email. It can have a phone number and the email and name. It can have any kind of things. But there's only one. There is no menu there. There is nothing. The classical definition is something with one submit button. Now, do we stick to the definition? The answer is no. We'll do whatever you like. I don't care. But you have also to consider what people do, and they'll get some results. Does the bottom has to be red and the color has to be blue? You know what? When you try to design landing pages, write in my cousin Google landing pages and you go to images, it will show you samples of everybody landing pages, and you will be able to figure out some commonality. I remember what is his name? James here. When James used to be in this program, James used to have a black landing page. And it was working for him, which was very interesting because majority of the landing pages will be blue on red, very few will be green on submit red, very few people will put submit as blue. So there are so many psychology, color, physical, whatever it is. We don't get this whole details, guys. Let's just figure out you need to have a landing page. There is also a hook in the landing page. You can have a video, introduction, or an image. You can have arrows to show up it's going as a psychology high. All of these are details. We don't care about it at this stage. What we care about is what? If I want to have a lead magnet, what I must have? A landing page. The landing page will do what? Receive emails. Then where this email will go? To what? Just raise your voice.
Your autoresponder?
It will go to a responder or a responder tool, if you can allow me to say name it in this way, or an email management tool. So it means it implies that you need to access what? You need to have what?
An email management tool.
An email management tool. Is it SendLane? Is it Infusionsoft, part of Infusionsoft? Is it Constant Contact? Is it whatever it is? It doesn't matter. But you have to, actually, you can do that with Form 7, and the autorespondence will be on your Gmail account. That this special email, when it will send, it will reply. It will auto-reply with this fixed thing. So this is a way of doing it without any email management tools. You can basically, people will submit from here. They will send to a specific email their email address, and Google email account sends them back the material. You can do it in this way. This is completely free, no limitations. No limitation whatsoever. You can also have this using the Google Form, which is free, and when people submit, something could happen because Google Form can actually reply. There's so many ways of doing it. Do you really care at this point? But you have to remember, you have to own what? Email management tool. So nobody will come and say, oh, I have a website and I cannot get lead magnets. Yes, you can't, because you don't have an email management tool. Now, is it good to spend $300, $400, $10? We can talk about that. But you need to have email management tool. Any questions? Okay, so what is the very first email people will get when they submit?
Thank you. There's a download.
Okay, so they will get access to the lead magnet. And then what you can do after that? If I know you downloaded the top 10 tips to select to buy a car, what should I do after this? Follow up. How will I follow up? Can I follow up with a phone call? Most necessarily no.
But they won't give you a phone
because I didn't have a phone call. So what information I have from them right now to follow up with?
Just an email.
Just an email. So how will I follow up?
Well, some people say that if you send them a bonus material that helps them, gives them something that they didn't expect, but it's something that was another fee. For example, here's financing options for your vehicle and how to get the best financing rate. And it's something that's, and then you can say, hey, here's the next call to action.
I understand, but the point I want to say here is You have an email here. Well, how you can follow up on this email
Some people do.
address? By asking for an email. If you want to follow up on a phone call, you don't ask for email. You ask for what? For a phone number. Okay? If you give a valuable lead magnet, a very valuable lead magnet, you can ask for a phone number and email and the name.
People usually don't give you phone numbers out the first time they know you.
There are ways, there are scenarios there. So if I have an email address, how can I follow up? By sending other emails. So I can map my email one. So after I give you my report, what kind of email one should it be? Yes, sir.
This is probably, well, some people do questions or poll, and then ask just 2 or 3 questions to further qualify them on which program or which report or what.
Yeah, this all are advanced.
Level of money they have.
Yeah, these all are advanced. But I want to just go to the basic concept, and then we can show how we can make it better.
Email.
So if I want to send an email one, what email one should have? Nothing wrong, guys. To move these people here, what do you need to set? You need to send them information. So this email one will have what?
Your 1 page.
More information with a call to action.
So that goes out, when you say email one, you're talking about the one that goes with the lead magnet?
No, the lead magnet
Or
is here.
after that? Okay.
Then I can send email one. Then I can send email 2. Then I can send 3, 4 with more information and asking them to take action. What kind of information can I send? Is function of what you do. What are the best information to send? Addressing their problems. The pain. So if you come and say, because you download the best 10 tips to, or the 10 tips to retire happily.
They're happy. They don't have a problem.
Yeah. Or next email can be what you don't need to worry about during retirement.
Like the 3 reasons you have blank disease or whatever.
Okay. How often should I send these emails? There is no magic answer. They can be every day. They can be every hour. They can be every week. They can be every month.
That's where Infusionsoft comes in handy because you can trigger.
Away from the tool, but just the concept.
Yeah, but it should be.
So the concept is, I have a landing page which offer something which is very valuable for people. So when I designed my lines here, I will have my lead magnet here. Remember this graph? What is the lead magnet qualifiers? It has benefits. It has feature, a PDF file, an add-on infograph, whatever. What is the benefit of this? Every tick here we talked about, it must be a full offer. So when somebody read a report, they will have fun learning. So I have to understand what are the benefits of reading this report. Usually is know something important, right? Then I can send them another info, another info, another info, another info. So I do have lots of sets of these particular settings. The question is, how often should I do it? If you do it too often, what will happen? People will leave your mailing list. And if you do it less often, what will happen?
They'll forget about it.
They will forget about you.
Can you ask them what frequency they want to?
They will not know. If you ask me how often you want to call me, I tell you I don't want to get any calls. Does anybody around this table will answer differently?
I've done it when I've gone to unsubscribe and they have the question or how come you're unsubscribing? I'll say because I don't want to hear from you that much. It's only at that point if unsubscribe.
So this is how they qualify how many they should send to a certain type of audience. So they use the unsubscribe as an additional qualifier to do better in that area moving forward.
Once or twice a week and on Thursday afternoons and Tuesday during lunchtime, because that's the most common time when people use it.
Yeah. So there are so many perceptions about the time and the days and the stuff. However, is a open. usually once a week will be acceptable. I know somebody, Chrysia from Toronto. She will send 3 emails a day. And I know also the other guy. I think I shared this with you before. There was a fellow who will be giving 100 tips on publishing a book. And when I signed up, I did not download the 100 tips. I got the first email with tip number 1. Sorry, it was 33 tips. Sorry, 33 tips. And then second day, third day, and then you got busy. Like I did not check my emails for the last 4 days. Okay, I was extremely overwhelmed. So something happened, and then I went back to my emails, and then I found like tip number 6 on the 6 days or something like that. So it intrigued me. So I said, I want to see what will happen when they finish the 33 tips. So I did not read any of the other tips. I did not open any one. Once I ran out of the 33 tips, what happened is they started to send 10 other emails, and then they stopped. The minute I open any of this email again, I start to get some other emails back from them. So there are level of automation which actually check how much did you read inside this email, and when did you open it, and which link you can click with it, and only paid tools will allow you to do this, to a great step. So if you want to ask why should you spend $300 on a tool a month? Because if you sell one offer from yours, which is $1,000 a month, you already made the tool. Can you sell without the tool? Most likely not. Because if you can sell without the tools, you would have sales right now. So if you want to set up these things and try them out without the tools, you should. But you always consider, if this is the season coming, will I take the risk by putting the tool on my credit card and then seeing the results out of it? It's a check again situation, okay? So this is a set of emails. Now, when and where can I ask them to buy?
Every step.
It's based on your cycle here. Based on how you design your steps. Okay? So if somebody will be able to open and read 3 or 4 emails about emotional intelligence or the application of sales every week, it means what?
Fully engaged.
Fully engaged. So in the 4th one or the 5th one, should I invite them to a free webinar? What should I ask for in the free webinar as information to sign up? What? The phone number. So why I raise the bar from a PDF file? Okay, all of you agree that all of these are PDF files? Okay, PDF files. Why I am raising the bar from PDF files to a video, an MPEG-4?
Building a relationship, so personalized.
No, I'm raising the bar because I need more information.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't care. I don't care about the relationship will not sell. We have so many statistics to show that the relationship will not sell. And if it helps you selling 1 time, 2 times, it will not scale up a business. Because I don't have enough time to fall in love with every single customer I have. I only fall in love with you guys here because you are in Calgary. My customers in overseas, I have customers I never met with them before. If I only fall in love, I have only 24 hours, 8 of them with another one, so I only have 16 to fall in love with other people. Because I have to be 8 hours at home, that's right? I'm not saying I'm making love there, okay? I'm saying I'm full in love, okay? So if you count the numbers of hours you spend to fall in love or to build a relationship with your customers, you are limiting your business. The business must scale at certain point that people will get value from you by very small interaction. So building a relationship, we are not in an MLM marketing strategy where you have to only you have to only sell so many people you know. If you want to scale your business, if you want to have an international program selling elsewhere, people don't need to spend more than 1 to 2 hours with you to buy. If you babysit them for 6 weeks, you don't have too many 6 weeks. Does it make sense? Relationship selling, it does not sell beyond a specific scale. Selling for values is what sells. And many of the people selling on relationship, after some time, what will happen to their business? They will not be able to create revenue to support this business. So the business will go back. Sometimes you know big companies, sometimes you know 3-4 big companies, and you keep working with these 3-4 big companies for the rest of your life. It's great for you, nothing wrong. To be a consultant for 4 companies, each one of them will give you $50,000, $100,000 a year, and you can run a $500,000 business. But if you want to scale a $500,000 business to like my last customer, $40 million in a year, you can't, because not everybody has to fall in love. There is a different way of doing it. Okay? Now, when somebody running a $40 million business, he has 18 employees. So it's not him only. Just because sometimes people say, oh, can I be a 40? No, you can't. You have to grow up. You have to get other people engaged. He has 16 or 18 consultants. He has more. He has 1.5 consultants per employee. So this is an operation where you have 50-some people pushing the business. And that's why he's a $40 million revenue a year. Okay? So when you scale up from a PDF to an MP4, maybe somewhere in somewhat Shamir is offering, it can be an MP3 files. It can be a meditation files. Okay? It can be an invitation to a webinar. So why I do this invitation? Because I need more information from them. What can I sell in the webinar? Maybe a $27 book. Who will buy a $27 book for more information?
A lot of people.
And what's their engagement level? What's their interest level? Pretty much high. So after I sell $27, what the next step should be?
Upsell.
Upsell at what level?
100 or 1,000?
200.
Yeah, so you basically multiply this by a roll of sum of 10. 10 times, 8 to 10 times, okay? So if you sell somebody at $17 or $27, the second offer can be around $300 or $200 to $300. And then what is the next level of offer will be? Around $2,000 to $3,000. Does it make sense to you? If this makes sense to you, you should be able on your notes write down what will be your lead magnet, what will be the topic of the next 3 emails, and what will be the webinar, and what will be the first sale. And if you want to affirm a plan, let me know and I can sit with you on one-on-one or a smaller group and we can talk about specific. I'm here trying to make general because everybody around here is general. We have so many businesses around here. So someone will do the same. Someone will send a PDF, then they ask them to come to Lunch and Learn. What's Lunch and Learn equivalent to? To the webinar. So what are you offering them the Lunch and Learn to keep to keep the communication after? You have to ask yourself, what are you doing after the Lunch and Learn? Lunch and Learn, they will become prospects to client area. So what you give to them to make sure that they are interested. And sometimes what you give is just a survey. It's because if you don't have, like in your case, you don't have a following product.
Survey like a questionnaire?
A questionnaire. Like at the end you say, when is your next offer? Sorry, when is your next project? When should I call you? Like you give them a survey or a questionnaire at the end and say, what did you like here, what did you not like? Do you believe you use this technology? When should I call you back? Do you have an immediate need right now? So in this case, the Lunch and Learn or the seminar will be about what? Qualifying them to right now. Does it make sense? If you just make a seminar or a webinar with no call to action at the end, with no survey, with nothing, people will come and eat the food, and then what will happen? You will leave, and you'll have hard time trying to do it. Reach back to them. Do you understand this? So every single activity, step number one, you have to map it on this graph. I hope each one of you can remember this graph. I'm a graphic guy. I like visual. I know audible people don't like visual, but if you remember, you always need to have this graph. Every single activity you do must be complete and must fit into a sales funnel. This is what we call it funnel. This is what's called sales funnel. Now,
what were those 5 again? Ebook?
It can be ebook.
Yeah, what's the next one?
White paper.
White paper, okay.
Report. Infograph. Tips. Checklist can be one of them. And I believe we have a course just talking about all of these, and each one of these, by the way, it needs to have a hook. Like there's a higher level of details there. Do I confuse myself right now with it or not? No, no. I know we are overwhelmed because we are in a very junior age where this technology is brand new for us. Do I really like doing these things? I don't like it. Because I don't like it, I go around and teach it. So I share with people my pain, but I work with individuals to solve their problems there. Yes, sir.
When you do a lunch and learn, and then you do a survey questionnaire, and then you do a follow-up phone call, and then to book a meeting, can you also do it through online? Like, can you do a...
You can do the same on the webinar.
Webinar.
Yeah, and then on the webinar you can...
So you do a questionnaire to...
There is a Candly on, there's some tools.
Okay.
On a webinar you can set it up. Like Candly will allow you to book numbers.
Calendly.
Calendly.
Okay. Yeah.
Calendarly. Calendly.
Oh, right. Okay.
Calendarly.
C-A-L-E-N-D-L-Y.
Newman is doing it. Newman, he will run an automated webinar.
Yeah.
And at the end, he will come and ask, when is the best time to one of my associates to call you to give you a free offer? And when they call you, they don't give you a free offer. They basically try to recruit you in.
Yeah.
So you can do this online too. And what's the one you use, Shamir? WebJam? Webinar Jam?
I use two. I use Zoom for my Monday morning thing.
No, the other one. The other one which is automated, webinar, which has a package for automation. Webinar Jam?
Which is a package for what?
Automation.
No, that's the webinar thing, but the package for automation.
Yeah, it's the Webinar Jam, I believe, and they do have an automation package.
I don't.
Yeah, so you can have a webinar package which will run an automated webinar, which is basically a video of you.
Yeah.
And at the end, at the last 2 minutes of the webinar, last 2 minutes of the video, they will ask you to sign up to an online session with somebody. And what they use this webinar for is basically just to build information. And in one of the webinars, it said very clearly, if this is not for people who cannot afford their rent, this is for people who have money and they want to grow. Start to become like 6 or 7 webinars right now. I've been seeing these messages at the end.
Yeah, these are pre-played webinars that look like it's real life.
Yeah. And they run it every hour.
Yeah.
Like they say, like when you have the advertising on the Facebook, you sign up and you find the webinar is like at the hour. So if you are at 58 minutes, you can catch it in 2 minutes. If you are at 2 minutes after the hour, you have to wait for 58 minutes. Which is good because if you keep the link and they cannot make it, you can always double it, sign up for it.
Well, how unethical is that thing that Newman did? That they said my associate will call you with a free offer, and they don't give the free offer. That would just destroy
No, they will give you something free, but the whole idea is not to have a free offer. The whole idea is to use the strategies we discussed in the enrollment and the selling and the closing deal courses to basically get you to buy into the package.
And forget about the free offer that you didn't get.
Yeah.
They'll upsell you from the free offer before.
Even Jay is doing the same. Like Jay, you go to his event and he will have his associate, and they say each one will go have a free consultation for half an hour. And when you go there, all what they see is they have this workshop, they have these things, and they try to sell you 5 things in one time. So there is no really the same basic banana will get you $7 or $27 to sign up for 1 hour consultation. And once you sign up, it's not a consultation, it's basically to sell you what they do next. So,
big infomercial.
you know, it's just
one-on-one infomercial.
Yeah. So the point I want to make here is it's function of what you sell and what you do and how much you sell at. Sales funnels is this models. You can make it better if you want to, like what was said here, that when you get people to sign up here, you can ask them more questions, like when they are ready, how much is their household. And if you want to do that, this will end up that you have another funnel here, not the same. So people in insurance business, they will put this ad, and then when you download, they will tell you, do you have a car you're looking for car insurance or life insurance or business insurance, and based on your selection, they will send you to different funnels. Okay, you can also inside those emails, you can also send other information like surveys and other stuff. How you automate these emails? There are two ways. One way is you can set your own, copy the email and send it every week, or you can get a package. Like, I'm not sure, Constant Content doing this, Shamir, or it can do the multi-emails?
Automation.
The automation?
And MailChimp does that too.
And MailChimp. Infusionsoft also is doing it. And most likely you will have an extra pay, you have to pay extra for that.
Well, not MailChimp has it as part of their free program. Constant Contact is, you have to pay for, you get 60 days free, but you pay for it after.
Okay.
One good point that Shamir made is that on that automated email, it actually states where it came from. So it was forwarded through MailChimp. It'll say at the bottom. And that's not a very business or professional looking. So Constant Contact might be better.
Any free stuff, they will promote their business too. That's why when you don't have, that's why at a certain point you realize if you are serious about it, you have to pay. Any free thing, like any free things, you always have a message there. So if you wanna be serious and you wanna be seen as a guru, as a big guy, you have to pay. It's the same concept. You don't do free stuff to people. Will you? The answer is no. So if you don't do it for people, why do you expect people doing it for you?
It's the same sales funnel for them.
Okay, it's the same sales funnel. So this is what's in nutshell sales funnel. Any questions about these sales funnels? I did use something similar for my business contact back in 2000. When I had people contacting me with me, I will have a management software, and every single time I publish a new paper, I will send it to them to increase awareness of my publications. So I use this with no business I didn't have any business. I just basically wants to get people to know me. So when I ask for reference letters or ask for reviewers for my publications or whatever, I have people who know what I'm doing. So when I was a student at the university, we used something very similar to connect with people. And so these tools you should consider even at the personal level. Any questions? Okay, so do you have at least one action on your notes to do at the end of the day? Can you guys let me know now what do you think about this session if you have no questions? Start with usual.
It was really good. I've got several call to actions this week. There'll be a busy month for both Rob and I, as we've got a couple big trade shows. So.
Okay, that's good. Mike, what's the most valuable part here?
Just making sure I have all my social media tied together so that we can start getting messages out against my site.
Yep. And social media tied together, there is also an online course we have which will talk in particular about social media, because there are lots of strategies there. Rob, what do you think?
I wouldn't say that there was one thing that stood out. So most events, if you can get one little tidbit, you pretty much can call it a success. And I got 6 small tidbits, so add them up. And it's pretty good.
Thank you. Shamir, what you did not like here? Oh, by the way, from a communication perspective, we always react negatively when we have been asked negative things. So you don't tell people don't do that. You give them an alternative. If you tell people stop, you don't tell them stop. You just give them an alternative. So you don't tell kids stop watching movie. No, just tell them What about you go start your homework now? Because we don't practice. Sorry. What you don't what one thing you did not like today?
Sitting beside this
Oh.
guy.
Yeah, you took your pen, I remember that.
They took
No,
my pen.
no, serious. Is there anything in this content you didn't
No, I
really?
think it was all great. Lots of review for me, but one of the things that I was kind of struggling with was when you actually try and divert, because a lot of my people, when I do the Monday morning espresso shot, if I put my website on there, Facebook gets all kinds of excited and reduces its organic reach. So if I use it in tandem with my page, that would be useful. So I'm going to try that now, see what kind of reach I get.
Yeah, if you are doing a weekly event,
Yeah.
you should avoid getting people to Zoom or this. If they can come to your page, you can have more control on it.
Actually, you can actually now use Webinar Jam or Zoom to do Facebook Live from your page. So, I'll start using that.
Brenda, what do you?
A number of things. I'm gonna continue sort of building out my email list. I've started a MailChimp campaign, so I just need to start that communication. I realized I have way more contacts than I thought, so if I started to put all those business cards in, it's growing pretty fast. So I'm going to do that. I'm going back to consider a actual physical mail campaign for my design services for web design, because I think online is great, but I don't believe print advertising is dead either.
I have a question for you. If you are looking to design for people websites, and these people don't have website yet, what is the logic behind trying to invite them online?
What is the logic behind trying to invite them online?
Yeah, if they don't have websites yet, it means they don't appreciate online.
Yeah, or they're too busy to do online.
Not necessarily.
Okay, guys. Okay.
They
I have
might be too busy, right?
No,
That
I
they
have a lot
can't
of
do it.
clients who access online my webinars. They don't have websites of their own. They're like solopreneurs, right? They're not solopreneurs, but they are just your regular Joe feelers. So it depends. Like if you're business to business and they don't have a website, stay away because they don't have the money. But business to consumer, and 50% of my people, when I look at my stats, 50% are on desktop. But that's a different demographic, I guess. I have the much older demographic.
I decided to pick I was going online and looking at dentistry sites just to see, and I noticed a lot of them are non-responsive and half-ass and so forth. And I figured
You found a lot of cavities in there?
yeah, lots of need for some work. So I did some calls last week, and then I followed up with email. But it's getting through that gatekeeper person to get to the decision maker.
Be careful because
We got the
majority of
slogan
the
right here.
Yeah.
Your website has so many cavities.
Fill in your cavities. Yeah. So,
be careful with the dentistry because the dentistry usually is controlled by some other
Oh, okay.
I have 3 close family members are dentists and they own their own businesses. So there are lots of interesting stuff when you get into this market.
Okay.
Because there is a specific chains of dentistry, and medical doctors usually people come to them. They don't believe in outreach marketing. It's even eye doctors or
Yeah.
doctors who are doing eye exams. They don't believe in marketing because doctors overall people come to them. That's why they don't have business cards.
Mm,
So there are lots of things about dentistry in particular.
okay.
So
Are they controlled by the dental associations?
no. It's controlled by
That sounds unionist.
peer
but
pressure.
by a major.
Association.
There is
There's a group, just like the
there are
Marlboro.
3 or 4 different groups
Yeah.
who they do have the packages for managing the clinics.
Right. Okay. That's
So
because
this
it's
is
a lot
are
of-
basically front of a chain. So they don't foresee having a decent website will do any tractions. There's other aspect of how much you can market your products as well. So it's very interesting to see how your journey is like because I had lots of insights, which is I don't know.
Okay.
Claude, so what's the best things? What is the worst things you've seen today? Yeah, guys, you should help me because if it's something not really not good, I have to change it.
For me, it's like going back to school or learning Spanish, which I know nothing about. And I'm so happy that Brenda could make it today because my expertise is not in this domain at all. As a matter of fact, it's far from this domain, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And I do appreciate all that you present. I understand for the most part. I lose a lot just in the letters, but this young lady is there to help me. So that's why she's my partner. That's why I don't come here alone.
That's good.
If I came here alone, I wouldn't get everything.
And this actually is like when people use it more online tools and people and the generations coming younger and younger. Unfortunately, this is one of the forecasted ways for communication.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like,
Yeah.
I really don't like,
Sure.
is GAOLPCC. What the heck are you talking about? That's what I don't get. I'm not fast enough to write it all down, you
But
see.
we wrote this model lots of times. Like this is the general audience, lead, prospects, client, and customers.
I'm impressed with how you know all this. You
So
see.
this is our the staging from people here to buy. So
Yeah, but for me, learning from you,
yeah.
I just cannot capture it all.
Okay, sure.
That's my
I will
difficulty with this format of teaching.
Just throw the question in.
Yeah.
We'd be
Yeah.
here till
Yeah,
4 o'clock. It's just the same. I appreciate what you're doing, but I have difficulty with that. Simple.
And I will work out on these difficulties.
So repetition might help. Of what did you capture that G? What is that G? Blah 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 blah. Then I can write it down.
Sure.
So I don't know if I'm the only one who's in that boat or not, but
Well, it took me a while to figure out what all the letters meant.
You're not alone.
I wrote it down.
Takes a
But
couple
remember,
weeks.
if you figure out them one time, you will never forget them.
Well, I believe that.
So sometimes.
I just gotta get there.
Sure. So next time we spend more time in describing these letters. So.
I get the concept, so which is important
Yep.
for me, and then she can get the detail.
So sir, what
I think the mapping out is very important, and I've got several calls for specific things to get done to move forward. I do continue to get confused about the social media and how to play that whole game, like how to integrate all the different social media things. And you said there's an online course.
There's also a lady sitting 2 down from me who might be looking for more work, and you could just kind of piggyback. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
kind
there
of
is
throwing
a-
it out
in,
there.
Do you specialize in social media?
I wouldn't say I specialize it. I'm focusing on building audiences on LinkedIn for people.
Anyways, we're going to be meeting soon,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about that. That's
So
Thanks,
if you we have we have an online versions of all of these courses, and there is few of them will talk a little bit more about social media and how you do it. But what I want to say is you need to step one step at a time.
Mhm.
So if you don't have an incorporated business, you need to start with an incorporated business. If you don't have an offer plan, you need to have an offer plan. If you don't have a product offering yet or a single offer, you need to have it. If you don't have a strategy, you must have it. Now, how to execute on these strategies, it's a further down. Like like we don't start from social media. We start by having a business first.
Yeah.
And when you have a business, you can have a social media. There are people who will come and say, we want to do a website and it will sell. It will never sell. People will spend like $20,000-$50,000 on their websites. These are the 6 different versions of my website. No problem. You can have the 20 version. If you don't have a clear business, you don't have a website. Your website will not convert. And if it converges 1 or 2 times, it will not grow. I'm sure. You need to have first a solid business. You have to understand this general audience, prospects, and leads, and clients, and customers, and what are you offering each one of those. If you have a vision, if you have an offer, practice it here. Tell us what's your offer. And once you have this offer and you go sell it outside, there will be time when you need to have this social media. I'm also trying to slow down so many noise out there, because there's so many noise about why people need, like today we got information SEO is not any more relevant. On the other side of the table, across of him, there's a very strong fans of SEO. If we get a SEO developer here, he will say SEO is everything. What's the reality here? So these are the kind of things I'm also trying to make sure you guys don't get fooled by what people say out there.
One specific thing that you brought up that I've been thinking about, do I need to incorporate?
You must. You must. Okay. And it's not for tax purpose, because the guys in tax purpose are looking at me and say, this guy is nuts, it's not true. It's not for tax purpose.
I didn't say that.
No, I felt the law.
There's two reasons. One is liability, and the other one is for taxes.
With all that due respect to what he said, there is one reason. One and one only reason.
And
if I am your customer,
professionalism.
If I am your customer, and I will come to you, and you have no corporation, he said he has no GST number.
Or a Gmail.
You have a Gmail account. You have no website. You have no corporate address.
You have no business.
What's your commitment to your business? When next time I will call you, will I find you or not? If I even call you. So with all the due respect, which is this is very what Mike's saying. Mike has a very good experience in corporate business, and what he's saying is right. But away from all of this aspect, you need to think about your audience when they look at you. Are you trusted? Are you committed? Like so many of our oil and gas friends don't get hired. Why? They are competent to do the work. Because the people who are hiring them, they're concerned if the oil and gas will go up, what will happen? They will quit and go back. So that's why this is one of the biggest difficulties for them not to be hired in different businesses. Because people will know that the minute you have an oil and gas offering, it's much, much more money. So will these people stay around? So if you want to build a fuzzy, warm feeling that you are committed to what you have, you need to have the element. And believe me, once you have the element and things will work well, what will do? You will not quit. But if you are in the verge, oh, I can do this, but I'm also looking for a job. Okay, you know what? Commit doing this full time. Keep looking at jobs. It's okay. We don't care. Half a day or half an hour a day or half a time of your time. Doesn't matter. Keep applying for jobs. Doesn't matter. But believe me, if you do this right, you will find that this is sucking all of your time because it works. So I know what he said about liability and tax is correct, 100%. But I really don't care. I care about, can I sell without a company?
I would say not necessarily that they have to be incorporated, but they should have a trade name. A trade name which identifies your brand.
Which is a form of corporation.
Well,
a form of registration.
Yeah, but it's a cheaper registration.
It's cheaper, and what the format is the details.
Yeah.
But you must have the step.
So you should at least have a trade name so that you're...
I've got that. I've got a GST number. It's the liability issue that's...
You basically talk to Mike and investigate. I'm not here to give you legal advice on anything. But my point is, if you have a company name and you have a business running, people will feel you are committed. If you have none of those, do I do business with you? I will not. I personally will not.
And get a mailbox, not your home address.
Yeah.
Or an office address.
A mailbox with a UPS?
Yeah, UPS, they call them suites.
Suites, yeah.
So when people Google me, when I used to be a property manager, they go, oh, his business is in the shopping mall. Right?
Until they go there.
Or you drive there and
you see your office.
They never go there. They never go there.
It's 6 by 6.
Yeah.
But they do use Google Streets to see where your business is. They go,
they do.
oh, it's a residential. Oh, the guy's just starting out, right?
Well, you don't even want to give out your residential information.
And also there are people who will say when we build the relationship, people will have sympathy and come and help us. If people have sympathy to you, they will not buy from you. When people have empathy to you, they will buy from you. The difference between sympathy and empathy. Is that right? What's the difference?
Sympathy is they feel sorry for you, obviously. And empathy is they feel with you. So
in a nutshell, empathy, they appreciate your cause and they appreciate what you're doing, they recognize it. Sympathy, they are the same way. They share with you the feelings. They don't appreciate it.
people sympathize with Shamir sitting beside me.
If you look up
They feel empathy for me.
If you look up sympathy in the dictionary, it's between shit and syphilis.
Oh my God!
I have to look that up.
So Denise, what's your feedback on today?
Well, I find it overwhelming because I really have to put aside time to do it. Now I'm not working for another company, so I should have time, but I find that I'm running a squirrel on a wheels.
Hamster wheel.
Going.
Nothing will work without putting time and doing the work.
Time to hire somebody to do that stuff for you.
Yeah, I just realized that I have to sit still long enough to do something. Or move my office to the library, and there won't be so many distractions.
I found that.
Yeah.
It's more productive if you leave out of the house and mind Starbucks.
Marcel, what's your feedback?
A great recap from many of the courses and meetings we had before. So all the puzzle pieces clear a little bit up and round up the whole picture again. And it's a great reminder of the stuff or I have learned here before. So that's very helpful.
Thank you. Enjoy the automated and more of the programs that you have once you scale up and learning more about that.
For me, it's getting off the pot and start doing something.
Yeah,
so
please.
I have it in my mind what I want to do, and it just start taking action.
She smokes.
And with all of what I'm saying here, guys, this is information is great. As long as you don't apply them, they call it fantasy.
Getting off the pot.
So every time we come to a fantasy, like a Disney movie, like we come as this movie, this show. The minute you start to apply, the minute you start to take actions, the minute you start to work on in any of these elements we talk about, this when you can see transformation in your business. Just coming here and enjoying the free cookies and the free pastries and the company is not the way to go. Okay.
Just a real quick testimonial. Cloud came and helped us on Tuesday, the day before our lunch and learn, and it was kind of interesting because we had a presentation, and I'm not sure if 1 or 2 slides made it to the final presentation after Claude was done with it. And aside from that, it was one of the things that I think was most appreciated, I guess if I were to use that word, is his positive spin on your message, of our message, is the biggest takeaway we had out of that. Where we played a lot on negative feelings that we know are in the industry, he forced us to not hammer those home and have a positive spin on our message, and so that was an underlying theme of the biggest change, apart from every slide getting thrown out. And so it was an incredible time that he took out of his day to do that for us. So I completely thank him for that.
I'm happy for that.
Thank you, Rob. And what he said is something interesting, because in earlier classes you talk about the pain point. Pain point is important, but in the application of his presentation, it wasn't a thing to use at the beginning. It was a thing to let people know at the end that he's aware of the pain points. But it wasn't a selling thing for him at all.
However you want to use it, guys, but the statistics demonstrate that if you address people pain and you talk to them about pain, you can have 90% closure compared if you sell them on entertainment or so I can talk in a positive way, but in a positive way I can still addressing the pain.
Absolutely, and that's the piece that he changed.
Like when I...
That's the piece I changed, but it's
the
still
pain
important
the
to
pain
be
is
at
still
the end
there.
this time around.
So when I say pain, it doesn't need to be have a negative mode.
Right, and that's what he changed, was the negativity of the presentation. We touched on the pain point still, but it was
you have to speak to the pain. It's a presentation.
You don't want people depressed after your presentation.
So it was.
So am I hearing right? You abandoned the 3-legged stool method?
No, they talk about exchange. We didn't see the first presentation. I didn't see the next one. But what they say is they have a positive message, where they will talk about the pain.
They said they moved the pain to the end, though.
No, it wasn't the form. It was just the overall feeling of Cloud is a very positive person, and that was that's the biggest takeaway. I'm not talking about the presentation and the layout and how we talked about anything. It was just the overall mode.
However, the measurement, the only measurement here is if you go deliver it to the right audience, how many of them will follow after that. This is
and then we talked about that. No matter how positive we feel, if it doesn't translate to a sale at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so that was
the point. Is you apply whatever you feel is right, and when you put it to application and you see the results, you can either come back to modify it.
Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, this is the. And when people come and say we know how it works and we'll do it for you on marketing perspective, it doesn't work like that in marketing. Marketing is just assumptions. You apply it, and when things will happen, it will happen. If it doesn't happen, you have to work around.
We change it.
Yeah, I applied what we got, and I got 4 appointments, two Monday and 2 Tuesday.
Wow.
And I have 2 clients. One is the CEO, and another one's a professional that needs help. So I'd rather deal with the CEOs, so I've started calling more CEOs, but I know CEOs in Vancouver, but I don't know CEOs in Calgary, so I don't know.
And the market in Calgary is very interesting right now.
Different vibe, right?
The market in Calgary is very interesting right now.
Yeah.
But you said that before, right? It's better to be the out-of-town expert than being the expert.
It's not better. It's not better. But it's the definition of an expert.
Yeah.
If somebody lives 50 miles away, he knows terminology, and he comes to take my watch to tell me the time. So living 50 miles away means what? You're not from town. It's a fundamental definition of a consultant. So if you are not in town, people will appreciate you more.
Yep. I have no Calgary clients.
Really? Wow. So the next meeting is Monday, not this Monday, but the Monday after. The 10th.
10 o'clock Monday, yeah.
Okay, thank you guys, and
thank you.
Thank you.
Rob, would you say you had an experience in men?
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.